Hello and welcome. In this video, I wanted to do another highlight of sorts, and I'm going to be talking about Gordon Parks. I first discovered Gordon Parks through his photography, but he was a true Renaissance man. He was a composer, a director, a humanitarian, and a writer. And in this video, I wanted to highlight some of the books that I own by him. If you have never heard of him before, you might have seen his work. He has some very iconic photos, especially related to civil rights and also just global social issues. He was a photographer for Life magazine. He also was the director of Shaft, which was another iconic movie in that it started the blaxploitation genre, and it was really the first time that Black characters were shown as the protagonists in movies. I believe up until that time, in the 40s and 50s, Black characters in movies were really secondary. With the movie Shaft, they were the main character, and the stories were taking place in their communities. It really jump-started that genre. So it was really important in the representation of African Americans in the media, in entertainment. And so I wanted to just talk about some of the books I have by him. So the first book I wanted to talk about was his memoir. I believe this is his first memoir, and that is A Choice of Weapons. This is following his childhood and the early part of his photography career. I absolutely love this. I think when I read this, it was my favorite book I read that year. When I was reading this, I couldn't believe some of the things he had to deal with. His mom passes away and he is sent to live with his sister in a different state, and him and his sister's husband have a falling out and he's kicked out of the house. And so then you see him sleeping on streetcars and living in brothels, and just to come from all of that and do all of the things he did, I just find very, very amazing. And the writing in this is very, very good. I wanted to read a little bit of the very beginning, because I wanted to show how he really transports you to into the place of what he's talking about. So in the prologue, he's on an assignment, and he says, "The door to the death cubicle is opening. The quiet is heavy, and I damn myself for accepting the warden's invitation. But it's too late for now. The doomed man is already coming, ashen and shaking, flanked by 3 beefy guards. He's dressed in blue prison denim, wears gray flannel bedroom slippers, and moves with a hesitant shuffle as they guide him through the door. Only the compassionate whispers of the minister stir the silence, that the saying of Jesus might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. The prisoner observes us through tears, and for a curious moment his eyes seem to question our presence." So that's on the first page of the prologue, and it's so vivid, the details, and you feel like you're in the room experiencing that with him. I'll read another passage. He says, "So spring would sneak in a bit at a time, breathe upon the cold, and then retreat. It gnawed at the snow, dwindling it with rain and sun, but the cold wind never slept. It roamed the nights, repairing the damage that had been done during the day. And off we would go again in search of another wooden fence or coal truck. It was good when finally the icicles fell and melted into the earth, and the smoke left our breath, and the frozen Mississippi moved again." The vividness that he writes, I feel like he is, all of your senses are used. You feel the temperature, you can see it. It's just such good writing. And on top of that, the story of his life is so interesting in this. So this is one of the books and memoirs I have by him. I also have another memoir. I believe this was the last memoir he wrote before he died, and that is A Hungry Heart. And obviously these were written quite a bit of time apart. I haven't read this one yet, but I did read the first few pages. I think he's gonna give like a summary of his life, so some of repeating what you learn about in A Choice of Weapons, but I think he'll go a little bit further, and I think this is more reflective, looking over everything that he's done, and just, I'm interested in reading this because I love to glean wisdom from my elders and those who have come before me, and just like the things that they take away from life. And so I am looking forward to reading this memoir. I also want to read his memoir. I think it's something in autumn. Oh, I also want to read To Smile in Autumn, which is another one of his memoirs. I don't own that one, but I think that one gives you more of his, a look into his kind of the highlight of his career and all the iconic things that he did. I think it's going to give you more of a look into that time of his life. So I do also want to read that one, but I don't currently own it. And then I have a fiction book by him, and that is The Learning Tree. This was actually made into a movie, and I believe it was the first like major motion picture movie that was directed by an African American. So definitely a place in history for that. But in this, it's a coming of age story. We're following, I think his name is Newt. I also I want to get to this one as well, but in this, it's coming of age. I think it's semi-autobiographical. It takes place in Kansas in the 1920s, and you are seeing our main character. He's a teenage boy, and you're seeing him grow into a man. You're seeing him discover things about himself. You're seeing him discover the world and the injustice of racism. I'd like to read this and watch the movie. But this is I think this is his only fiction book, his only novel that he wrote, I believe. And then the final book that I own by him is a poetry collection. This one is Eyes with Winged Thoughts, and it's actually a combination of poetry and images taken by him. And as far as the images, some of them are very literal, but then you have like more like abstract and artsy types of images. But again, the writing in this is so good. I haven't read this cover to cover, but I have read quite a few of the poems in this. And I wanted to read one that I particularly liked because, again, just the way he's able to paint a picture and to just play with, to paint a picture and just the prose that he uses. So the title of this poem is called Death of a Wheat Field. While my father swilled the hogs and hayed, they became my friends. Slipping through my fingers like water sand into the grainy deep of the oak bucket. Gushing from my hands, leather bowls, I ignored my papa's gruff command. Let those seeds be, boy, let them be. Then to the rumbled field he went one day, angry, scattering my friends, burying them underfoot. I saw him with my own eyes, throwing them to the unfriendly wind. With a sorry heart I watched them die, thousands of them, my friends, while my father swilled and hayed. But one morning, in the sprouting spring, while he toiled at other barnyard chores, hundreds, then thousands, then millions of them peeped up, slender from their graves. Smiling tender green pointed smiles, my friends were alive again. And from the rain they drank, from the sun they fed, growing a busy carpet field for naked feet to play. 3, 4, 5 feet tall they grew, while my father wasn't watching. Then one dawn he caught them swaying there, laughing at him in the spring wind. To the tool shed he went and honed his wicked sheath, out then to murder them right before my eyes. without words, bundling them, whacking off their heads, leaving their thin bones for sons to burn. A fitting funeral I had for them, pyre stacked for sacred rites beneath the pagan fire, and God sent mosquitoes by the millions for a choir. I heard them with my own ears as my father swilled and hayed. So that's one of my favorite in this collection, but I really love it, and I love the photos that come along with it. And I think he has another one. He has another one I want. I think it's called A Poet and His Camera. I think that's another like poetry and photography collection. But yeah, I just wanted to make this quick little video to highlight Gordon Parks. He's one of my favorite photographers, and I just love learning about his life. So these are some of his books that I own. I hope I inspired you to read some of them or just learn more about him. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.